It's a gorgeous day today. It's cooler, and I'm happy for that because I'll explain. uh, Sharing my title for the post today is Enduring Hardships, along with a life update, and wanting to just, well, number one, I can't do a whole lot with this right now. It's getting better, in case you're wondering. This is week 3, or today is the 3rd week of when I fell and broke my thumb, fractured it. And it's frustrating. I'm a doer. I'm a not let the grass grow under your feet kind of person. A lot of it's from abuse conditioning, but I'm part of my person too. So I'm learning what's me, what's not. But I am Larissa at Prodigal Pieces. I invite you to sign up for my free email newsletter so you can get things right in your inbox. And you've heard me say before, I've been hacked. I've lost over 100,000 followers on Instagram and Facebook. Didn't go back to Instagram. They refused to do some things to help there. And just know that you can get these by signing up for my newsletter. You can do that at the top of my blog, bottom, middle of the post. I have places all over you can do that. And if you can't figure it out, email me and I'll hook you up. All right, I have been writing in this post. So if you want to seeing this video separate from the post, if you go to the titled post I'm mentioning here, you can read what's been going on and why I'm calling this Enduring Hardships. I know we're never free from trials in our life, so I don't think I am singled out necessarily, but I do feel a lot of my life feels like not everybody gets this run. So I was going over my week with different things happening, and then comes to the middle of the week, and a blessing is I have wonderful children, and they're very talented in many ways, especially in sports, academics, and 2 of my current children are in varsity sports at the same time. So one is playing first singles for the men's tennis, the other is we're Division I varsity track team, and she's one of their top runners for different races, and so it's hard to be at the important things all the time. And we're coming down to the end of the seasons, and that's stressful. We're heading into sectionals and conference championships. So I watched my son one day this week, all day in sectionals, and before that was conference championships just the end of last week. And so there's stressors there, and along with some other things going on in people's lives around me. And then my daughter, we went from like 60 degrees in the middle of the day to 39 at night, all the way up to like 85 and higher with high humidity. So my daughter was having trouble Friday night. We'll get to that. Hold up one second. One of the blessings I've counted lately is my mail carrier. I reached a point where I needed some help with some things, and he loves Lula, my dog, and we meet him occasionally on walks when I'm taking her out, when he's delivering mail. And he also has a poodle, so he can relate. We tell stories about dog stuff. A nice young man, and I was great. Feel like I had him on my side. Well, he announced to me the other day that he was going to be moving to his own route. I was excited for him, and that his last day would be on Friday. And so at the moment, I had forgotten. We had my daughter's conference championship coming that night at a local university, and preparing for that. But Lula, if she sees Danny or people she knows, she alarm barks a little bit to let me know. She doesn't alarm bark for everybody. But he had been delivering and bringing the mail up, and I was like, oh, it's his last day. So I went out the door and just wanted to say, hey, we're glad to have you, and let Lula see him one last time, because most likely we're not going to see him again unless we happen to be on his new route, seeing him working. And I had just a nice little conversation, and the minute he walks up, my neighbor that I've had trouble with in the past comes up my driveway. Now, I'm going to give you a backstory. Some of you know, some of you don't, so bear with me because you'll see what's going on. Moved into this house in 2003, pregnant with my second, before I was life flighted and had issues, nearly lost my life while pregnant. And this was just a couple months before. But literally before we actually got the key to the house, the previous owner, somebody we knew, let us come and do some things before there was an insurance inspection on the house. And while we were here, the same person walked up the driveway and started asking us questions and being nosy and didn't really introduce themselves. Okay, so I was like, okay, that's what we're dealing with. So the person that came up the drive's uncle used to own this house, and the person that came up the drive let me know for the last 20-some years he knows everything about this house. Okay, I took it as this person needed attention, and so through the years, we shared the side of the house. The property line is very, very close, and there was a shared area, and you would see in my past blog posts that I had taken care of that area. We would pressure wash, weed, plant things, and it was just something that I maintained, or my family and I maintained. And things got hairy for a minute there back in 2019, where there was a dispute that he and his wife were very scary, and we sought counsel, legal counsel, because of some threats that were made to us, and decided to build the 6-foot fence and basically a pergola to keep him away from my house, and another pergola at the corner of my house, because this person would come and get a ladder and start messing with my gutters without telling me or anybody. They would come to the window and knock on my back window. I'd be nursing my child sitting at a table, and knock, 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 wanted me to come to the door, scare me to death. If I was picking up nuts in my backyard, and I mean, when I say nuts, we have trees with nuts that fill wheelbarrows full of nuts, would tell me I shouldn't do that. The squirrels need the nuts. When I would dig out, when I first moved in, I was digging out raspberries that had sprayed through the yard, like just planted themselves. And, you know me, I like to give them away, but this time I just decided to compost them. And then I was told, came into my yard and told me I shouldn't be doing that, and what they were, like I didn't know. So I used to take it with a grain of salt, and I used biblical referencing to just say, turn the other cheek, be the neighbor, be, Christ to this person. And I'm not saying that was wrong, but I let things go too much. If I was shoveling the driveway, this person would come tell me I was doing it when I'd be pregnant, but tell me I shouldn't be doing it, just never leaving me go. And would use my former husband as a plot sort of against me. I can't really get into a whole lot of detail, but let me just say this toxic person that I have lived by. So when that fence and whatnot went up in 2019, I wanted them to stay away. They were one of the reasons that I would have those horrible interactions. And he's done some things since that I didn't really want to let bother me, and they did, because I've got other stuff going on in my life, right? So lead up to this week, I'm going to show you some things that have been going on. I'm trying to remember in relation. I think it was about the same time we decided we had a rolled roof. So if you know what that means, there's like a rubber coating on one of our roofs that doesn't have a really great pitch, and that's what's done around here. Almost all the houses have some sort of rolled roof. And to improve the value of the home in order to resell, decided to put new roofing on there. But no leaks, no issues. Just said, let's go ahead and take care of this because we knew it would need replaced sooner or later. And after we did that, for whatever reason, I got this leak. And this leak didn't happen all the time. It was only in certain conditions. Nobody could pinpoint it. Had several people here. And I decided to go ahead and make an investment, the possibility of selling. I've been talking about how I would like to sell if God leads me that way, but I couldn't obviously sell the house knowing that this random leak would happen, and it wasn't causing any damage. I mean, I know water is water. It can cause damage without being seen, but like I said, it was so intermittent, so really random. So replace the roof, but here's what happened. The gentleman that came to replace the roof was very angry that day. He had been fired from his job, and the people that were supposed to come help him do the roof did not show up. So In the process, he not only did not install the roof correctly, that we technically didn't need, right? He broke a window, apologized but didn't offer to fix it, did not flash the chimney, did not flash the skylight. You know, you put those protective pieces around those things that are sticking up out of the roof. Where the roof ran into the asphalt shingles of the original roof, he didn't do the transition there. We couldn't hold him accountable for it. He didn't even flash the side of the roof or have a drip edge. I regrettably, personally did not go up there and check and inspect everything. I trusted my other to do that. And when I found out like months later, I didn't know that this stuff wasn't done. There we're stuck. So decided to, basically they redid, I say repair, but they took everything off, redid it the right way, flashed it the right way, and you know, hoping that this is going to solve the problem. I had some roofers come and make this repair, and this is what happened. So the day that I'm out talking to the mailman walks off, and I'm feeling good. The neighbor comes up the driveway and says, "Hey, saw you have some roofers working on your house this week, and some of their trash blew in my yard." Now, knowing I know this neighbor, when those roofers were here, I had seen some things falling down right around and picking them up. And actually, I had to leave when they finished. When I got home, my youngest daughter and I went and looked on that side of the house, between the house, but I didn't go all the way back because I'd be trespassing on his property. And I knew, just stay away from him. Dangerous. And then we didn't see anything. And so he says, "Hey, saw some guys working on your roof and their stuff blew." And I said, "Okay, you can contact them if you would like." And within a minute, he says angrily, "You're the worst neighbor I've ever known." And I asked him then to leave my property because he's screamed in my face before. And as I'm walking away, he screams, "I know why your husband left you." And as you can imagine, that was disturbing. That's harassment. Knowing that I have been pushed around for so long by many people in my life, I've had it. So I filed my first police report. I actually didn't know what were my rights. I mean, I'm generally, as a citizen, I know. So I called the police station and I said, you know, what's within my rights with this situation, with this harassment? And they said, file a report. So I did file the report. The police officer came. This same neighbor, I don't know currently 100%, but has always had a scanner, police scanner in their house, because you could hear it from the windows. You could be walking on the street and you could hear the scanner going off. And has told me before that heard on the scanner, because, "Hey, I heard on the scanner an ambulance came to your house. What's up?" Yeah. So that was very, very upsetting. And this is after the rest of my week going on. And I think that, you know, he left. I called the police came to talk to him, left, and they told me, let me know if he does anything more, and then we could proceed with other issues. But I'm then have to head to my daughter's meet, where it was extremely hot, and I'm going to say 65% humidity. We're not used to that here that quick. And a lot of her team were having issues related to and other teammates as well from other teams. And she was struggling and having a hard time. My kids had to witness this too, by the way, not necessarily outside, but they knew something happened. They were here and they know that he's done stuff before and are scared of him, sick of him. There are other people within the neighborhood that have asked us personally, how in the world do you live by him? So I'm like, oh, luck of the draw, that's always me. I'm always the one seeming to be in the mix of enduring hardships. So what do you do with that, right? Well, the next day, the leak came back in the roof. And we think we've pinpointed what it is. Thankfully, this person has been wonderfully helpful and is helping me figure out where this is coming from. And we're solving this problem, so I can just check this off my box and move on. But literally, I just spent the money to fix this, and then I get another leak, and just see how frustrating, right? So hopefully here in the next week or so, I can say we've got it. I won't know until we have another situation where it pops up, but I'm feeling confident that through all of this, something good is coming out of it. And I'm trying to persevere, trying to be a high-spirited one. But things like this really throw me for a loop. Because I'm trying to heal from so much. And no, my husband didn't leave me. There was a disillusion by my choice, my presentation, and a spiteful person who has nothing better to do than cause pain. And just saying, you're not alone. There are things that are going to feel like waterfall moments, and you're not understanding why things seem to, well, they aren't seeming, I'm going to own it. There's a lot of bad happening right now. Trying to keep my head above water. I think I'm doing good. I mean, what can I do, right? Carry on. God is ever reminding me that I'm not alone and showing me in different ways that I need to keep carrying on, and that I'm healing not to handle trauma better, but to know what true joy is. And I want to encourage you. It's the least I can do through this, right? If I can't take this mess and make good, at least I can share it with you and say that, yeah, junk times are coming. You're not going to be free of them, but we have a promise of eternity in Christ Jesus, that we can spend eternity in peace. Boy, do I look forward to those days. No more crying, no more pain, no more heartache. Yeah, I have that promise, and I'm hanging on to that promise, and I know He wants better for you, He wants better for me, and we can do our part while we're here to just carry on, to endure those hardships, to not lose faith, though it seems like you're drowning. Lord willing, I have no other things happen in the near future. We're still carrying on with the sports, and lots going on there, but disappointments in a lot of ways this week. And as for prayer, there's a lot going on that I've always said. I knew when I was doing well with God and headed in the right way when Satan was attacking. He doesn't attack those He has under His thumb. He attacks those that are doing the will of God. And I'm trusting Him to lead in my next steps, whatever it is, that everything will be okay. It doesn't feel okay at the time, but I'm learning how to help regulate my system with different events and just leaning in to the everlasting arms. And I hope, maybe you don't have the relationship you want with different people in your life, and maybe you don't necessarily believe in God. I can attest for myself, real. It's real. If anything I can say through my life, I can see Him working despite all the different things people have tried to do to me in my life. I do pray for that neighbor, regrettably in some mindset, but I do pray that he finds peace in his life to stop causing pain to others. It makes me want to pack up and leave, but I'm also not a quitter. So I'm literally saying, here you go, God. What do you want me to do with this? All right. I'm going to write some more down below in the post to just give you a little more stuff to chew on, that maybe you need to read more, hear more, and just understanding trials in your life. But I'm sending a hug out to those that I know that have reached out, not only online but locally here with their stories. I hear you. You're being heard. And God knows. All right, next time.